The way child support is calculated in Massachusetts is that, first of all, you have to figure out what the parenting time breakdown will be. There is a calculation that is specific to a 50-50 breakdown in parenting time, and there is a calculation that is specific to approximately a 2/3, 1/3 breakdown in parenting time. So where one parent has the child the majority of the time. There is also some room to figure out a fair support amount that is in between those two. So if it's not quite 50-50 and it's not quite 2/3, 1/3, then the court can use what's called a hybrid calculation to come up with a fair child support amount. You're basically considering the incomes of the party. So your income, your spouse's income, what either of you or both of you contribute toward health insurance expenses. Any work-related childcare expenses are factored into the calculation, as well as any prior orders or financial obligations tied to an alimony or child support case. So those are the main things that are considered in figuring out what a fair child support amount is. You can modify child support in Massachusetts anytime that essentially a new child support calculation would result in a number that is different than what's in the current order or judgment. So what that would look like is, if you need to modify child support, you file what's called a complaint for modification in Massachusetts, have the other party served. Typically, the parties would exchange financials, and then you would go into court sometimes on a motion hearing for a temporary order to lock in or to attempt to lock in the new support amount, and ideally finalize the case by agreement. If it's not finalized by agreement, then the case goes on track for trial. If you are not paying child support per the court order, or your spouse is not paying child support per the court order, then either one of you can file what's called a complaint for contempt with the court, which is basically asking the court to order the other parent to follow the court order. And in most cases, that is also accompanied by a motion for attorney fees, asking that the party who is not following the court order pay attorney fees for the other party. If you need to enforce a child support order, then there are a couple of options. Number one, if you have signed up for full services through the Department of Revenue, which is the government entity that is responsible for managing child support, then the Department of Revenue can actually help you enforce the order. So the Department of Revenue can file documents with the court to address the issue. The Department of Revenue can withhold and garnish wages from your ex to grab that money. You can do it through tax returns. So if you're signed up for full services through the Department of Revenue, then that agency can help you collect that money. If you are not signed up for full services, then you yourself or through an attorney have to file a complaint for contempt through the court. And it's through that process that you would get a judge to order the other parent to pay on a certain schedule and or issue orders for attorney fees. If you have any questions about child support enforcement, feel free to call us at Farias Family Law.